Okay guys, right now I'm going to show you how to solve the HackerRank exercise about hash tables, a Ransom Note. Basically the problem what states is that Harold is a kidnapper who is writing a ransom note but is worrying about getting traced because of the handwriting. So that's why he's going to recur to the magazine paper cuts, like cutting words from it and then putting the note together. So based on the different words that are found on a specific magazine and the notes that he wants to write as a ransom, you will be able to tell if the magazine words are sufficient or match what he wants to write. There are a couple of constraints in here. Well, for example, one of them is that if the magazine contains words in lowercase and the note has words in uppercase, then the answer will be no, because he wants to use an uppercase word and the magazine doesn't, only has a lowercase one. It's kind of a messed up example to provide, but I mean it's very good to test your knowledge. Another set of constraints that we have is that, for example, the length of the magazine string array is going to be, and also the notes array will be between 1 and 30,000, and that the max amount of words that can be found on that array is 5, from 1 to 5. For my solution, I didn't consider the case of 1 to 5 now that I realize, so it will be good for you to put that constraint as well. And also that each word consists of English alphabetic letters from A to Z, or A uppercase to Z uppercase. And this is another constraint that I bypass. I think I only focus on the first one, but it was good enough to have the exercise pass. So feel free to modify the code and test it out with the other two constraints. Alright, so here we have the output format and an example that is provided. The first one that it consists on the magazine words. It's pretty much in this case 6, and in this other one is 4. This is for the note that he wants to write. So the output will be yes, because the magazine has enough words to actually use into his Ransom Note. Okay, now for the sample input 1, you have six words for the magazine and 5 words for the note, and in this case the sample output is no. The explanation of this is because the word 2 occurs 2 times in the note, but the magazine can only have only has 1, so he cannot use it twice, right? Because he's out of words. And in the last one, we have this example of I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts in the magazine, and then in the note he wants to put I got some coconuts. So as you can see, the word some is not found in the magazine, therefore it cannot be used. So now to the coding part. Basically what I did is, well, I have checked the first constraint, and the constraint that I have is that, for example, if the length of the magazine string array or the length of the note string array equals to 0, or if the length of those string arrays it's greater than 30,000, and I will immediately print out no and return, meaning like completely exiting out of the function. Now what I want to do is I want to add each array into a hash map containing the word and the count, and then check if the words in the Ransom Note are in the magazine and if the count matches. Now a little edit about this. What I end up doing was I added the magazine array into a hash map. Okay, so basically what I did is I built a string and integer hash map for the magazine words, and basically what I did is I iterated through the whole magazine string array, and what I did was, okay, if my magazine word contains or has the value, I'm sorry, if it has the key and it's different than null, then I will initialize a count variable, which is pretty much the value itself. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm checking, okay, so does my magazine hash map has that word? Okay, if it has it, I'm going to increase the count of that key map and also the value of the word. Okay, to put it plain simple, like for example, if I have in my map I have the key to be hello, immediately I will see, or I will add into that count. For example, if my existing count is 0, I will increase it and it will be 1. But then if I continue reading the string array, and I find again the hello word, I will increase my count and it's going to be 2. So that will be like the value will be 2. So that way I'm maintaining my map to have a key named hello and the value or the count to be, in this case, the number 2, because it's a string. After this is done, then and also, well, if it's not there, I know that the count is 0, so I will immediately add the key that corresponds to that word and start with the number 1. That is to prepare and iterate the hash map of the magazine words. Now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to iterate the ransom note. So the ransom note itself is just going to go word by word of my note, and the first thing that I will do is I will check, if my magazine actually has that word. If that word doesn't exist in my magazine, which is the check that I do here in the hash map, if it's null, it means that it doesn't exist. I immediately print out no and return it. Otherwise, what I will do is I will check if the actual note is different than null. I mean, if it contains, the magazine actually contains that word from my note array. I will start a count for the value. This way I will retrieve the value of my map, like in the example above. Like for example, if it's hello, I will retrieve the number 2. Okay. Then the next validation that I will do is if that actual word count is greater than 0, I will replace my count and actually decrease it. Okay, I will decrease it because I will know that okay, the word from my Ransom note is there and I already utilize it, therefore I will discount that word or scratch it off from my magazine. So this is what it means pretty much. I'm scratching that word count from my magazine. And then if it actually is not there, like if the note itself is not there, or if the count has been depleted, I mean, might be that the word is there but the count has already been depleted, has already reached out 0, then I will immediately print no and return, exit the method. At the end, like if all of these conditions within the for loop don't result in like turn into no, my conclusion is that after I iterate the Ransom node, everything's fine, so I will just go ahead and print out yes. So that's basically my explanation on how to make this HackerRank exercise work. I know there might be a few errors or there might be a few things to improve, but this is a good way to show you how I actually came up with this solution. And then at the end, well, if I run the code, you should be able to see that my sample test cases passed successfully. And then if I submit the code in exercise, it will begin to execute all corner cases, all like different large amount of arrays, and it will actually validate that my solution indeed worked. Just to give you an example, for example, let's see if I have unlocked any of these. Well, these ones are locked, but I don't want to use my pointing here. Anyways, I hope this is helpful for you. I will continue doing more exercises, and I will see about submitting them and making sure that they work. Thank you.